Boys, welcome to another episode, reaction show, college football, Bussin With The Boys. We got Rivalry Week. We got the college football commissioner, Josh Pate, joining the boys after all the chaotic weekend with Lane Kiffin. We'll be talking coaching changes, potential playoff chaos that we are all rooting for. Before we get rolling, number one, it is Cyber Monday.
It is Cyber Monday.
Sale is now up. 35% off our entire store. Last week it was 30%.
35.
On Monday, as you are listening to this, 35% off our entire store. I'm talking to the men out there because we do it best. I haven't done a lick of Christmas shopping since Black Friday has started. You wait until the last minute. I'm just reminding you again, 35% off our entire store.
What's the store? What's the website?
At bwtb.com.
Oh, so it's only 4 letters.
4 letters.
Very easy.
Yes.
We've done this all for the guy.
Yes.
Dumb brains. We all have them. Figure it out.
Dumbed it down as low as we possibly can.
And 35% off.
But this college football show, this Bussin With The Boys episode, whatever you want to call it, is sponsored by the FanDuel Sportsbook, the number one sportsbook in America. And Bussin With The Boys FanDuel is officially live in the beautiful state of Missouri. Sorry, you guys know what happens there.
Rodney Harrison over here.
You just got to stay in the pocket.
I'm sorry, guys.
Stay in the pocket.
I'm sorry.
It's 4th and 3. What do we do? We're going to go for it. Beautiful state of Missouri. FanDuel is officially live. That means all of you in Missouri can finally lock in with the rest of us every Thursday night for the rest of the season with FanDuel's Thursday Night Football Touchdown Jackpot. You guys know the drill. Just place an anytime touchdown score, bet using your profit boost, and if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll earn a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Big game this week. Cowboys-Lions. We'll be sharing our picks on social. We hope you guys are keeping tabs on our bets and cooking up some of your own. Head to FanDuel.com/bussin to download the app and get started. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, now live in Missouri.
Hey, way to get through that.
Yes.
Way to get through that.
Thank you.
I want to say this before we start. It is so great after Rivalry Week, after what happened to my team, after what happened to your team, after what happened to JP's team, what happened to Jack's team. It's nice to sit here with friends. Mm-hmm. Will being a friend, JP, you're a friend, Jack, Garrett, Sherm, Mitch. It's great to have my friends here and be together in a situation like this where it sucks, it hurts, but we all get to hurt together, and that's beautiful. And Josh is also here as well. Josh is here. Now, Josh! Before we get into what's really important, which is college football, do you want to address what you did this weekend on Saturday morning?
Yeah.
Do you want to apologize?
I'll address it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll address it. So I woke up, like many people do.
Mm.
Every human who's alive today woke up this morning.
That's
a
right.
fact. And I woke up Saturday morning, and when you wake up and your conscience is just tugging at you a little bit, for those people out here who have consciences, mine was tugging at me on Sunday or Saturday morning. I thought to myself, what's wrong? I haven't done anything. I'm not in debt. I don't owe anyone any money. What's wrong? It was a pick on a game. Gets no one more important than that in rivalry weekend. And I was thinking, what game? And I realized it was Ohio State and Michigan.
Push the mic a little closer, Josh. Get it up a little bit more.
Do you do shows?
Yeah, just not with the sensitive mics.
Yeah.
So I needed to talk to someone about it. I talked to my wife about it, and she said, "You got to." Actually, she said, "I don't care." But then she said, "Talk to someone else about it." So who else do you go to? Will Compton.
Yeah,
that's right. It's Savannah Pate. Will Compton's right there because you would be there, but I couldn't talk to you for what will be obvious reasons in just a second. I came on the locker room last Wednesday. And I ignored all my better judgment. I ignored the model. I said, I'm not picking against Michigan again. It's been 4 years in a row. I can't do it. But then Saturday morning, you look in the mirror and you're like, what are you doing? Ohio State's going to win this game. So what do? I look and I say, we got 15, 20 minutes to kick off. Do I change? And my heart said no, but my head said yes. So I consulted William and I said, I'm going to change. But if I do, I need you to hold me to it. I can't make this public this late. I'll get drugged. And I don't want to make it about me. It needs to be about the kids after all.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the biggest game of the year.
Yeah. And so I told him, I am changing my pick. You can release this at 4. And then I put my phone down. But then I picked my phone back up and said, there's one more person I got to reach out to. And that was you. And I didn't necessarily tell you I was changing my pick. What I told you is I want to tell you good luck and I love you. And you said 5 words back. Do you want to read them there?
Thank you. Love you too.
And I just don't see why that has to change because of one football game.
Ooh.
Do you want to pick up the timestamps of when those texts were sent?
I don't. No, I have no interest in that.
You have no
Those
interest
are
in that.
semantics.
That is where I am like, okay, there's tomfoolery about in Josh Pate's head on Saturday morning. As I see a text message to Will Compton at, I don't know the exact time because we don't have it up, but around 10:53 a.m.
Yep.
And then
You might be spot on.
it's basically, yeah, I looked at it quite a bit. It's basically saying, I can't do this. Ohio State's going to whoop Michigan's ass, which you were correct in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm changing my pick. I want you to hold this. Now, as your other friend, who is at the top of your list right behind your wife, I would expect you to either not text me or send a text that says, hey, by the way, I know you want Michigan to win, but I really think Ohio State's going to win. This is not what I want to do to you, but you're going to see this. You're going to know this. So here's the information. So the love you text to me is, we're in the movie Gladiator. I'm chained up. I'm about to go out for my last fight, and you give me a hug and you stab me in the back and you tell me I love you, brother. And then we go out and fight. Unfortunately, you just murder me. At the end scene of the movie is I get you and then I die. No, you just cut my head off. And that is what you have in the conscious and everything I have no problem with. It's the text messages and the times in which they took place.
You know, there's so much on my face that says I want to push back on this right now. It was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
That's a pretty accurate description of what happened.
I'm so glad we can get past that. And just you sitting on this bus saying it's accurate, you don't even have to say sorry. You've already said it with your eyes.
Yeah, Gladiator 2 starts today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, bad movie. Anyway,
Really?
onward. I thought it was okay.
I was a little into it. I kind of
Did you like it?
But I'm an easy crowd.
I'm a guy that watches the original and goes, it better meet this expectation. I'm an unhealthy watcher.
Yeah, you're dead.
If it's
at
a
that
great,
point.
yeah.
you're
I
dead.
So
no
Taylor,
choice.
what you're basically saying is he handled the tough situation just poorly.
I landed the plane, but not without severe turbulence. Yeah.
I think he did it fine. Like if he just texted you and was like, hey, I'm taking Ohio State. Yeah, I'm going to feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, like he's just having a discussion with somebody else, not hurting my feelings. That's all good.
But he's kind of kicking the can around.
He sent you a text, sat on his couch and goes, it's not enough. I got to now text Taylor and tell him that I love him so that I feel even more comfortable. I feel more safe. Hey, love you too. I am pacing back and forth in front of my TV, holding my 8-year-old. She's asking questions. Hey, what is this? What does that mean? What are these 3 dots? Oh, those are timeouts. Hey, what is the yellow line? That's the first down. We have to get to that first down. It's not about getting a touchdown right now. It's about getting a new set of downs. I look up. I get a text from Josh Pate. I love you. I smile. Thank you. I love you too.
It's going to be
and
okay.
I think I got my trench boy with me.
Yeah.
I got my trench. You sent me a text. Let's ride. It's go time. Whatever it was. And I'm like, I got my dogs with me. Knowing we all kind of knew. Even me, there's a piece of me in the back of my head going, last year. Like, they're not going to make the same mistake again. But I pushed that away. I had other guys that went to Michigan text me saying the same thing. I pushed that away just to find out that. But I don't want to, that's not what the show's about.
I wanted to situation.
I wanted to address this.
Is a great analogy for like Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss.
Right.
You're Ole Miss fans.
I'm an Ole Miss fan.
He's texting me on say he's letting them know, hey, good luck. I love just messing with their heartstrings the whole time.
I'm Keith Carter. I'm the AD.
I
love you.
Yeah, something's been tugging at Lane Kiffin in his conscience.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can't stay at Ole Miss. I'm going to come to LSU.
Yeah. And then I have to find out over the internet.
Yeah.
And I come back and he's probably gonna be like, hey, can I support Michigan in the bowl game? I'm like, you can't coach. You can't be a part of this bowl game.
And you're saying you understood, you got it. Like
Yeah.
you didn't have to play with my emotions this entire time.
Exactly. Like if it was just
you took a better opportunity.
Yeah. He took a business decision and made it personal by just sending, hey, good luck, I love you. Like I'm just like, what the hell is this?
Knowing full well, if Michigan pulls that game out, I'm texting you. We did it, bro.
Yeah.
We did it.
And you're probably texting Will and be like, please, hey,
slipping him
delete that.
a hundo to delete it. And I'm just telling you, we did it, man.
Exactly.
We did it.
And I'm sitting here none the wiser, just happy that Michigan won.
Right.
And you guys should have that little secret forever.
That for those first 2 series.
Yeah.
It was when you guys picked the ball off.
I know, dude.
I was like, oh my God.
I know.
Is this going to happen again?
When we got 3, that's when I was like, now I'm concerned. Because we picked the ball off, we're like we're in the red zone, the fringe area. And I'm like, now is the time we have to have a 2-score lead. We have to have it.
Yeah, having 6 points.
Settle for
after
3.
That.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to go into that game, I thought we were going to go Lane Kiffin, but Michigan got outplayed, outcoached, out-schemed, outclassed.
It was tough.
In every sense of the word. And honestly, I said in the video after the game, like, congrats to Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, Matt Patricia. Like, they earned it. They ate it for 365 days. Longer than that, 2,191 days. And once they won, there was no bullshit about it. They're like, hey, in their mind, everything is right in the world again.
Yep.
And you got to respect it. You got to respect the way they handled it, how we have handled it. And if you're a Michigan fan, it's a great opportunity to look yourself in the mirror and be like, how are we going to be winners next time we're winners? How are we going to act?
Yeah.
Because there's a piece of me that loves the bullshit, like the flag planting and all that, because it just adds to the storyline of rivalry week. And it shows the highlights and the fighting and all that. I love that. But when someone who's beaten you more times than not since 2000, and they just shake your hand and walk off the field, it's like that's a tough fucking look.
It says we're gonna win with humility. It's like, oh
yeah,
shit,
like
they
that
just
is
took over.
They predict that. Well,
that's the Ryan Day's playbook was perfect. All the bad things I've said about Ryan Day, like I take it back. He's a leader of men. He's a great coach. He's outstanding. He really is.
the part that got me was Michigan's players protected the M.
Oh, I know.
And Ohio State folks looked at it like, "What are you doing? We're not going to do that anyway."
Yeah.
What are you doing?
This isn't what you think it is.
And the thing that bothers me is in Columbus last year, when Ohio State players are trying to fight Michigan players over the flag thing, I'm thinking to myself, hey, you had 60 minutes to defend your turf. Like, we technically took over your territory. Now, 60 minutes has taken place. We got our ass whipped, and we got 110 guys standing on the 50-yard line. It's like, guys, they have won.
Just go home.
The game is over. And it sucks, man. I didn't think we had a winning game plan. I mean, I know Bryce, like, people want to mess with the stat line. The kid threw the ball 18 times. And 10 of those throws really came in like, okay, we're down by multiple scores. It's time to, like, kind of rip it. And it's like, how are you going to get a kid to get into a groove of a game and then just be like, all right, now go save us?
Yeah.
It's a tough situation to be in.
Look, Ohio State is the best team in the country.
They're the best team in
We
the
talk
country.
about all the chaos that could happen in the playoffs and everything else. I'm just thinking, like, who's going to beat this team?
No.
The field may be one. Told you, we said on the locker room like a month ago, the whole chaos is going to be the playoff selection. It's going to be the process of getting to the playoff, because once you get in the playoff, it may not be that chaotic at all. It may just be who's lining up to be the next victim for them.
Yeah. And you said it perfectly on your show last night. Like, every top team, after every game, they have more questions. The only thing Ohio State's giving you is answers.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. All they've given is answers. And it sucks that my team has to be the last head post on a stake. Like, that sucks. But, I mean, that team is the best team. Now, if you are Michigan, you see the level that Ohio State's put themselves at in this new NIL world. Like, are you going to go match that and go after it the same way they have? That's the question they have to ask themselves. I can't do it for them. I don't have that kind of money. I can't do it. I got a family to feed myself. I'm just over here as a fan, hoping and wishing and praying.
I'm with you.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot that needs to be said unless, Mitch, if you want to rub it in a little bit. I saw your text about your childhood traumas and us reliving those things for you.
Hey,
and
that
you're
win
back.
inspired Mitch to get back on the box, man.
Yeah. Long tweet.
I
saw Jack's responses. That's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words. But talking about driving to camps, the comforter, and everything
Yeah.
else, I know it had my attention. I'm like, okay, Mitchy boy.
I read half of it, and I was just, and it wasn't you. I was just I was mad about the situation.
No, I mean, like, I had to go through, like, I have been, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, bullied out of being a fan just because I have been a bit casual. But, like, seeing Ryan Day, like, we win with humility, and then, like, him shake Sharon's like, hey, we got to get these guys off the field. We're not going to do any flag planting. Like that's my head coach. And like, I have been a fan. Like, I had the comforter. My bedroom was painted like that. I went to 2 youth camps. Like, I've been a diehard fan, like since a kid, but like, I just kind of, I don't know if I fell off a little bit, but like seeing that win, it's like, oh, I'm fully back.
You found your faith again.
I did.
Yeah, you found your faith again.
Yeah.
Born again Buckeye.
Wow.
He's a born again Buckeye, man.
I don't really see a team on here that beats Ohio State.
Ohio State is the team.
It's the team.
Like, that's the team. That's the team that beats Ohio State.
Yeah, that's the only way that team loses. Can I ask you a question? Should we be done with conference championships? Like, we have number 1 and number 2, Indiana versus Ohio State this weekend, and it makes 0 sense. If the commission has already said it's not going to affect their judgment, if they're technically still going to stay 1 and 2, why not sit all your best players and be like, hey, why hurt these guys more when we have 3-4 more games to play?
Yeah, I'll do you another one. I mean, the Big Ten's the easy one. Look at the SEC. So Alabama's in the playoff right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they just don't play Saturday, they're in the playoff. Now, they don't have a first-round bye, so technically they could play Saturday and get that. That'd be wonderful. However, if they didn't have the game this weekend, that would be their bye. So what happens to the SEC? Because like Georgia's going to be in no matter what. There are folks out there walking the streets this morning who are seriously suggesting to you, if Alabama loses Saturday, they're going to fall out, which I think is insane. But same question for both conferences there. Why have your game Saturday?
Yeah.
That's why I think with this new talk about we're going to restructure the playoff or whatnot, if they do it, whatever changes they make, they've either got to crystallize the value of conference championship games or they got to do away with them. And the latter is not a realistic option because they make way too much money on them. So that goes to my whole theory of why I don't think Bama's falling out no matter what. Because you got really one of, if not the most powerful conferences in college football with their 1 seed. I know Bama's ranked behind Georgia, but they are technically the 1 seed in the SEC. Mm-hmm. If you tell one of the most powerful conferences in college football, your 1 seed could miss our 12-team playoff because they played in your conference championship game, the SEC like may burn the whole thing down. Like they may just take their ball and go home and say, you know, we're going to do our own thing. You guys have fun. Let us know when you figure it out. And think about this. There's a world where Alabama, SEC championship game participant, is not in the playoff, and there are 2 G5s and 2 Big 12s in the playoff. I just threw up. Many people just threw up listening to that.
Yeah. People had to pull over in their cars.
What if Georgia wins like 31-13?
I don't care.
You don't even think in like kind of a blowout scenario Bama falls out?
Oh, no. There is a chance they fall out. I'm telling you, I would never drop them out. Because if they're in today, then they're in, period. But yeah, like I keep listening to the folks who really follow this hardcore and the people who have sat in with the committee before. Like they take some of the media folks, they fly them down to Texas and they have them sit through the mock selection process. And everybody who sat through that thing keeps on putting their predictions out, and they have Bama losing if they lose to Georgia and maybe dropping out. I don't think those people are all stupid. Like they clearly know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a chance. I just think it's insane. And if you do it, there are going to be much bigger ramifications for the SEC. Because you notice, like I saw Greg Sankey Saturday night, the commissioner of the SEC, and it made me remember that guy hasn't said a word about this. No one in the SEC has said a word about it from the league office. They haven't tried to politic. They haven't tried to influence publicly or privately. They haven't said a word to me. Like they haven't reached out to try and stoke the fire. I think they're just waiting to see the outcome. And if Bama wins, it's a moot point. If Bama loses, that 12 hours between that game and the selection the next day will be, honestly, it'll be about like the coaching world was over the past few days with Lane Kiffin and LSU. Just be total insanity.
God, I have a question. If Bama were to win this weekend, do they earn one of the top 4 spots and then they get the bye and then Georgia would fall to whatever that would be?
Yeah, I think that's the way it would work. That's the other side of the coin.
Which is also a crazy thing that
or 3 Big Ten teams potentially get a bye.
I think the SEC champ is going to have a first-round bye, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Georgia, obviously, I think Bama would jump up there too. Then Georgia falls to hosting a playoff game, and I think the way it's projected right now, 3 of the 4 teams that would host a playoff game are SEC teams, and then it would probably be Oregon or maybe I think Texas Tech is going to jump up and take one of the spots, by the way, as the Big 12 champs. So yeah, like Oregon and 3 SEC teams hosting against who God knows who from the G5 ranks, and they're probably 3 touchdown favorites.
What if Virginia beats Duke?
What if Duke beats Virginia?
That's what I meant.
That's
what if
an even
Duke
more
beats
fun
Virginia?
one.
Because you have Virginia sitting at the 11th seed right now. They lose to Duke, who's nowhere to be found on this chart. What then?
I want to remind people, okay? We talked about the ACC doomsday scenario on the locker room a month ago. And then Duke lost to Virginia, ironically, and we kind of thought, okay, doomsday scenario off the table. The ACC is so bad, it lost its way back into the doomsday scenario. The doomsday scenario is, and this is going to sound fake, but it's not. Duke is 7-5 playing for a conference championship because many of their losses are out of conference losses.
Yeah.
Duke is a 2.5-point dog against Virginia. If they beat Virginia, Duke, the best we counted it last night, Duke is not in the top 40 of the AP right now. And that's as far as you can count. You can't even go past 40. They're not even receiving votes. If Duke wins, they won't be close to one of the 5 highest ranked conference champs, so they won't get an automatic bid. Those auto bids would go to James Madison and whoever wins the American Athletic Conference, and then the rest of the Power 4 league champs. And so the question would become for the committee on Selection Sunday, are we going to put Miami in the playoff, basically? Because that would be the ACC's only shot. at getting a team in the playoff. And if they say no to Miami, like they have been doing, you're looking at the ACC being shut out entirely. Which, again, we floated on the locker room a month ago. I saw the comment section. They thought we were idiots. They thought we weren't reading the rules correctly.
Right.
No, we were reading the rules correctly. It's just a scenario no one ever thought would happen has already happened in the second year of the 12-team playoff. That's the world you live in. That's the world you woke up in this morning.
So Virginia loses to Duke. What is North Texas's record? Why are they even? They're 11-1.
Yeah, North Texas plays.
I've already had my stance on the G5s. You need to be undefeated.
Yeah, well,
Have to be.
look here.
And their coach just left.
So
But
did
now
Tulane.
we're in a situation that we don't need multiple G5s, but we need a G5 to take out the ACC. Like if Duke wins, that will obviously be the domino effect. But we kind of need the G5 a little bit right now.
If you want,
Because
the
no matter
chaos.
what, we're accepting. We have to accept the rules of the game, which is these top 5 ranked conference champions. They get in.
Yeah.
Here's the other side of it though. If Virginia beats Duke, it still just means a G5 team and Virginia are going to be in.
Right.
And those just total blowout city against the 5 and the 6 seed in their building in round 1. Both of those games are going to be between 14 and 21 point spreads. It will be SMU Penn State last year. Like it'll be that all over again. And you just know you're mailing it in. You're trying to stay healthy. And it's going to be a really boring watch.
But what about the spirit of college football?
I'm all for it. That's why I tune in every Saturday in the fall. That is great. But you said the spirit of college football, right?
Yeah.
And the spirit of college football sometimes gets misconstrued to where every single team in the 136 team field of FBS is playing the same level of football. Everyone knows they're not. Both of you have actually gone on record as saying, yeah, there should probably be a G5 playoff. I've beat that drum for years, but you come to a total impasse because they just push back and say, no, we don't want our own playoff. We want the right to earn our way to get our head beat in. Like they would rather have that world.
Yeah. So as it stands right now, North Texas is going to play Oregon at Oregon.
Or North Texas or Tulane, one or the other.
So one of those teams are, if you're Oregon and your schedule comes out and you have them in one of your first 4 games, you're not looking at that going, oh shit, we got to win this one. And now we sit here in the playoff, and the most important games of the year, your first game is against Tulane or North Texas.
Yeah. For the spirit of college football, yeah.
Both coaches are gone. Yeah, G's over here saying both coaches are gone. Which, why not Vandy, who's 10-2, or even Texas? It's 9-3.
That's what it should be.
That's what it should be. Absolutely. But is Vandy out?
I think it looks like Vandy's out. I think it's crazy they dropped in
They
the
don't
AP
deserve
poll.
to be out, man.
They dropped in the AP poll after beating Tennessee. But look, it's another no win, okay? Because when you're arguing Vandy, you're not arguing Vandy. You're arguing a 5th SEC team. That's all the public hears.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well, who is Vandy beating? And then you say, dude, they just beat Tennessee on the road. Well, Tennessee didn't even have a win against anyone in conference with a winning record. It's like, if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, I could pick apart every resume up there this side of Ohio State and Indiana. I could easily do that. It's very, very selective enforcement of criteria to pick apart someone's resume. Bottom line is, if we sat on this bus in July and anyone said, rubbed the magic 8 ball this morning, I know for a fact Vandy's going 10-2. They're going to end the season red hot. They're going to drop 45 in Neyland Stadium. They're going to run for over 300 against Tennessee. They're going to have a bona fide Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback. Like Diego Pavia's not going to get hurt. He's going to go the whole wire-to-wire season. You're asking what seed are they going to be?
Yeah.
You're going to ask, are they going to get a first-round bye? Are they going to Atlanta? Are they going to play for the conference title? And instead it's, yeah, sorry, we're going to drop you a spot in the AP. Bye.
That makes no sense to me.
You have other
Jack's over here golf clapping in the corner.
that's pain. That's pain coming out.
Yeah.
The total chaos scenario we could be looking at here. Georgia wins big. BYU beats Texas Tech, and Duke wins.
Okay. I can address those one at a time.
Good luck.
BYU beats Texas Tech. They're both in.
Yeah.
BYU is the conference champ. Texas Tech's not going to drop out. All right. Duke wins. That means 2 G5 teams are going in. So Duke wouldn't be in. So at that point already, just with those 2 parameters, you have 2 G5s and 2 Big 12 teams. So a third of your playoff is going to be made up of G5 or Big 12. are you going to drop Alabama out? If they get blown out, like I'm not, independent of what I think should happen, I think the committee would drop them out. At which point you would have this whole sidebar of chaos with the SEC, and they would have a legit gripe. Georgia would be in. That's just going to be a crazy. I mean, you would really get around to even asking, is Notre Dame in? Because you got to make room for all these teams.
Right.
And by the way, my opinion is Notre Dame is not nearly as solidly just in the playoff as people assume they are, because you don't know how many teams you got to make room for. So I dropped Notre Dame out before I dropped Alabama out in that scenario, because one of them played for conference title and one of them didn't, and I'm not going to punish them. But then the other part of that is, so let's just look at tomorrow night. We're recording this on Monday. Tuesday night, the rankings come out. We assume Notre Dame's probably still going to be ranked ahead of Miami, but Miami's got another data point now. They went and smoked Pitt, worse than Notre Dame did on the road, and we're going to have to find out, does the committee look at that and still say, yeah, we don't care, we just think Notre Dame's better? So we know you guys played head-to-head, and we know that Miami's beaten several comparable opponents worse than Notre Dame did, but we don't care about that because our eyeballs tell us Notre Dame's better, which I agree with, by the way. I just think it's irrelevant, because you should have set parameters that actually matter, and they are enforced. So we got to find out where Miami and Notre Dame are going to be tomorrow night, so that we can project who would potentially be left out. And then you want a real chaos scenario. Ole Miss is sitting there as the projected 7 seed right now.
Yep.
All right. Well,
They
the
lost their
coaching
whole staff.
Yeah, coaching
Offensive
staff
side
leaves.
is gutted.
Coaching staff leaves, and the committee has it in their protocol to redefine how good a team is if you've lost a player like Jordan Travis, 2023,
Undefeated Florida State.
or if you lose coaches. Ole Miss this year. So there is this world where the committee looks at Ole Miss and says, sorry, guys. That's chaos.
But and also to
That is
domino
fucking
effect of that chaos too, based on the rules of conference champion winners and everything else. It's like, the coaches leaving at Tulane in North Texas.
Yep.
They'll be in there in the playoff without their head coach.
Yep, but
just
the
due
difference
to
there,
the structure.
difference there is, if Tulane wins the American this Saturday, they're a conference champ. There's this designation on them. It doesn't matter if the committee thinks they're the worst team in the country. They've got to put them in if they're one of the 5 highest ranked conference champs. With Ole Miss, they're just an at-large team. So it's totally up to the committee whether they get put in. Just like it's the same with Notre Dame. It's the same with Oklahoma. It would be the same with Oregon, with Texas A&M. They're at-larges. So the committee's got to give you a spot. You didn't technically earn it by this designation of being a conference champ. It's messy. It's really messy.
Is this fixed, or does it hurt more if you expand the playoff? Which I know you've been a guy that is totally against. But then you get Vandy in, Ole Miss stays. These G5 teams, I don't know what the hell they even deal with them. Virginia's in.
Let me tell you my theory. It was the same when it was a 4-team playoff. I've never thought that just because people are mad, it means something's wrong. I just think it means you have something really valuable, and there aren't a whole lot of them, and a bunch of people want them. Bunch of flawed teams. So no team's perfect up here. So we're looking at varying degrees of flawed resumes, and we're trying to find the 12 least flawed, although you could argue that's not really the case with the whole G5 thing. But no, I don't think you should ever expand it. You can't expand the playoff enough to ever stop conversation and ever stop anger and ever stop hurt feelings. It would be the exact same. Like, people always say this, but they're right. You would have to expand the thing to 136 teams before you fully rid yourself of people being upset that they got left out. So you either expand it to the point where there are still some upset people and hurt feelings, but it's really, really must-see stuff late November, early December, or you expand it to the point where not only does everyone who deserves to get in, but we also probably throw in a few that don't deserve to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what puts more value? What puts more premium on regular season games?
Those who deserve to get in, get in.
And maybe if one or two have to get left out, that just means the room's really packed. Like, no one stands in line to get into a building where there's room for everyone. You stand in line because it's pretty exclusive and it means something to get in there.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we have this issue if we were back in time and it's a 14 playoff?
You always had the issue. It's just you wouldn't be arguing about 12, 13, 14 because you would know, man, they were way on the outside.
Right.
Your logic there is what I always think about.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm getting upset, like I'll get upset inevitably about someone getting left out of this thing. But I always try and tell myself, dude, just think back to the 4-team era. You're arguing about teams right now that would have been way, way, way outside the 4-team field. And even back then, we used to say, dude, there aren't 4 teams that can win a title this year. Just like this year, there probably aren't 6, 7, 8 teams that are going to be able to win a title
Yeah.
with how Ohio State looks. So we're really arguing semantics, and you get sucked into it. And like I feel good about Vandy. I love what they've done. I think it would be insane if Bama got left out because they're in the SEC championship game. You're crazy if you punish Ole Miss because they lost their coaching staff, which those players have no control over. Do I think any of them are going to win a national title? Probably not. And if that's the whole purpose of this thing, like I know there are dual compartments. I understand 2 different conversations.
Yeah, this is why college football is the best.
It's going to be a mess, man.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
I love the chaos, man. It's like I just want the 12 best. Like we're sitting here waiting on some of these games to matter. A couple of the championship games don't even matter this weekend, so you want to see how that's all going to play out. And we're this scenario where you got a couple Big 12 teams in, a couple G5 teams in. Do you leave out Miami? Do you leave out Notre Dame? It's like Miami, Notre Dame are very strongly one of the 12 best teams in college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so is Vandy.
Same with Vanderbilt. You got this Texas noise being louder than ever now.
Let me say this.
And sometimes it weirdly makes sense.
Yeah,
when I
no,
see
they do
the
a great
elements.
job of like spinning
The
it on you.
semantics are very good.
Let me say this about Miami. Miami has put themselves in this position. Okay, so you can't be losing to Louisville and SMU. You can lose one of them. You can't lose both.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to absolve them of that. It's 100% their fault they're even in this position. But like I said, we got to apply that logic evenly. So Notre Dame lost a couple of games, including one at home to A&M off a bye in desperation mode. Don't be losing that game. So like everyone has put themselves in these positions. Bama, -3 turnovers against Oklahoma. That's why you're in this position. So if we remove that sentiment from the equation, I'm not picking Miami to win a national title, even if they get in the playoff. But I will say, if you were to ask Georgia or Ohio State or Indiana's coaching staff, the one group of personnel that would concern them the most are the defensive guys that Miami has, because they probably have the 2 best ends in college football right now. Extremely good, like long, good future Sunday athletes that could give you problems. They're probably not going to win 4 games to go win it all, but they, in a one-off scenario, could give you way more problems than probably some of these other teams that are going to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cristobal talking about it's like Jurassic Park every day at practice with those guys.
He's not wrong.
He's not
wrong.
Yeah. I just this whole G5 thing, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why they would be allowed to be in just because they won their conference championship.
It's like what the rules and stuff are.
Yeah,
like,
I
I've been
know what the
corrected on
rules are. I'm
rules
saying the
several
rules-
times throughout the last few weeks.
I'll tell you what I think the change is going to be.
Like,
I think,
oh, shit.
I think
Yeah, I
the
guess they're
change
right.
that they could make right now that would greatly absolve this is keep all the rules as they are, but make the rule where your 5 highest ranked conference champs all have to be ranked at a certain level. Like they all have to be top 15. So that if Duke wins Saturday or North Texas wins or JMU wins, they're a conference champ. If they're not in the top 15 at least, then we're just going to override it. And
Yeah,
you're
I
not
love
getting
that.
in.
It becomes an at-large.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
becomes an
Yeah.
at-large spot.
No, I like that a lot.
Because if you did that, let's say Duke wins Saturday, you're probably changing 3 spots. Or let's just say the G5 gets to keep 1 spot. Or so you're going to have 1 G5 in. But you would free up 2 other spots that right now are going to be held by G5 and whoever else makes that. So, or at least 1 other spot. So yeah, I think they will move pretty immediately. They can't rid the playoff of G5 because it's illegal. So they can't do that. What they can do is keep the G5 with 1 spot and make sure in the future the G5 is not getting more than 1 spot because everyone knows it's a farce.
Right. If there's 2 spots open, who are you, Josh Pate, giving the nod to?
At
Of the-
larges?
Yeah. If we said, hey, the G5, that doesn't exist anymore. Duke beats Virginia. So ACC is kind of out.
Probably Miami and Vanderbilt would be the 2. But then Texas would come in and say, if we're even in that conversation, we belong in over Vandy because we beat them.
Right.
So I'd be okay with that.
That's what's crazy, too. Texas 3 lost, but they did beat Vanderbilt.
Yep.
3 top 10 teams, right?
Yeah, they beat A&M and OU as well.
Sure did.
Took care of OU.
Took care of OU. And OU to me is one of the more unstable teams in this whole bracket. Like their defense is really good, but they don't really do a whole lot on offense.
But their schedule against anybody else, like they've taken care of business they needed to where they're a 2-loss team, but it's like they're
Yep.
like they're in. What do you do if BYU loses by a game-winning field goal against Texas Tech?
Got to see where they're ranked tomorrow night. If they're not in the top 10, they're not going to be in. So they got to be in the top 10. It's the same thing with Bama. Only I think BYU is even more vulnerable to getting bumped out because they're in an inferior conference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess my argument is like for BYU is like when you're looking at all this chaos, all this semantics, BYU would have only lost. Their only team that they've lost to is Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And if they're losing on a game-winning field goal in the Big 12 championship, and that one team who beat them, yes, they have 2 losses, but they've only lost to one team. That one team who beat them, that's what gets them out. Whereas if the game-winning field goal for Texas Tech happens, and say Bama loses and they're a 3-loss team, but you can't keep Alabama out, but you bump out BYU. Like again, I'm here for the ride.
I think
I'm gonna have popcorn sitting there. I love all the chaos. I love rooting for all these teams in a weird way, but also shitting on teams in a weird way. I love all the entertainment.
You know, the other thing is with the SEC is I think it's a low-key really good thing for Bama that Georgia got in the SEC title game. Because even if you lose to them, you get to make the argument, we went into their building and beat them earlier in the year. So you're telling us we're getting bumped out because we couldn't beat Georgia. No, we already did.
Right.
And we beat them in their building early in the year. And then we got penalized because we earned the right to play them again. And we couldn't beat them a second time around. Like I don't need to make the talking points for the SEC because they're pretty obvious in that scenario. But with Brigham Young, just watch the show tomorrow night. And if they're behind Alabama already, which I think they will be, if you get that apples to apples comparison, they'll have no leverage over Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't. I don't think they'll be in.
Yeah. Shall be fun. Should we dive into some Lane Kiffin?
Whew, buddy.
Some Lane Kiffin
Did
lore?
something happen?
Buddy.
Where do we stand on this whole thing?
Because
There's a piece of me that feels bad for the players.
Yeah.
I understand why Keith Carter won't. I completely understand why Keith Carter won't let Lane coach.
Yeah.
That like makes too much sense. But at the same time, it's like, but these kids probably want a real shot at going after a title. So they would probably lean towards, hey, we want Lane to coach us, even though he's going to poach us.
Yeah.
All right. Can you read this right quick? Can we just bat this down right quick? So read that for me.
Okay, we got some tear talk right here from Washington State, the Washington State. Hard to complain about a kid's loyalty in the transfer portal when the coaches they look up to are even worse.
All right. There is a lot of truth on the surface to this because coaches are looking around constantly. I mean, coaches are demanding loyalty, and yet they jump at the first opportunity they get. That part is accurate. A lot of people have been saying the players are, like I was dealing with this morning on another show. Someone said, man, the players don't need to open their mouths on this. They're a little hypocritical because the players are always moving around. So how can those players at Ole Miss theoretically complain about Lane Kiffin leaving? Well, the players don't leave in the middle of the season. The players don't get to the playoff and then say, I'm out. And so this is a little bit apples to oranges on that front. All right, so there are two sides to that question that he just asked. But then the follow-up to that is, even if the players were able to leave in the middle of the season, or the players are able to leave and go as many places as they want to right now, it's just like Lane Kiffin having to take this job right now. It's just like coaching searches having to happen in the middle of the season. It all gets tied back to the same thing, that you have no discernible structure in the sport. So the players didn't write the rules. Lane Kiffin, the AD at Ole Miss, the AD at LSU, they didn't write the rules. They didn't make the calendar. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to carry water for these people. Lane could have handled this a whole lot better. But it's not running interference for any one person to generically say, dude, how about we fix the calendar here to where this doesn't have to happen? Like I highly doubt Lane Kiffin woke up one morning and said, you know what I want in the middle of this playoff run, this historic season at Ole Miss? I'd love to leave in the middle of it and take a new job.
Right.
I doubt that happened.
Yeah, I don't. I think we're just the biggest issue is the calendar. That's the biggest problem
By
that we have
10
going
miles.
on.
But people are aware of that now.
Yeah, people
Now,
are
if
aware
they
of
weren't.
it. Finally.
Yeah, it's like on the macro, it is like it's the coaching calendar. Like Lane was put in a very tough spot, and guys like us, it's like you can sit here and be torn. I know for me personally, it's like you're torn on how you feel, because now as a fan, as what we do, the entertainment aspect, the TV series that goes on with Lane Kiffin, you love diving in and all that. I think it's great for college football. But the other side, having been a player, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, if Pelini or this would have happened in the middle of my senior year, or not like thinking the guys that we had, and it happens during our senior year, during our run, we're going to the playoff, we're sitting there at 11-1, I would be gutted.
Right.
I would be gutted as a player. Like, think of what's the quarterback's name? Childress, or not
Childers?
Trinidad.
Yeah, Trinidad. It's like him knowing his offensive staff is gone in the middle of what Ole Miss has done this year. All those offensive players, because really it's the offensive side that's been gutted.
After being a D2 cat, comes and transfers, was a backup, and then takes over and keeps him in the historic.
It's
run.
all short. It's all short-term vision for those guys right now that are trying to finish up a season that they started, that they earned, been in all these conversations. So that's where I sit there and get torn, because it's like I hate it for those players.
Yeah.
I hate it for the players, because I'm just thinking of that situation had it been with myself at Nebraska, and you're just like, it sucks that it has to be that way. But if you pull yourself all the way out of it and look at it from 30,000 feet, it's all the calendar. Like, they're putting these tough spots. But then you zoom in, you want to get the popcorn ready for this Gossip Girl series with Lane Kiffin. He did handle a tough situation very poorly. And now I see why Ole Miss fans are pissed. It's like, I'm excited for him to go to LSU, because I think he's going to be good at LSU. All the drama. I love all the drama. I see every side. It sucks. And he's at LSU now.
I'm not disagreeing, but what did Lane Kiffin do that handled this poorly, other than the calendar just made him make a decision now?
Just
Play with the heartstrings of everybody.
I think it was the consistent drip.
Is that not just Lane in general, though?
That
Like,
is
has
him
that
in
just
general.
shown Lane
It
to be
is, but
Lane
that
versus-
doesn't justify how everybody else should subjectively look at him. It's like, oh, that's Lane. It's like, no, bro. Like, it's the middle of the night, and he's dropping a tweet through his dog's Twitter account of Ole Miss and Georgia, and being like, I just want to know if they're going to allow dogs here. And this is in the middle when Marty Smith is dying. He's getting weaker and older, just wanting to know if there's a decision going to be made, because everybody's sitting in that house trying to figure everything out, and then a dog tweet goes out.
That was a hostage situation over there.
A hostage situation.
Marty Smith survived this. He didn't cover it. He survived this. But you know what you just said? You just said a point, and then another point, and then another point, and you offered like 37 perspectives. The crazy thing about this is, have you heard anyone offer another slant on this that you've heard and said, man, I totally disagree with that? I've agreed with what everyone has said, because there's so many different angles on it. I'll give you one more. Be an Ole Miss fan. Be an Ole Miss donor right now. But rewind 6 years. Lane Kiffin is down in Boca. He is the head coach at FAU. He is toxic. He is radioactive. Nick Saban is a few years removed from firing him the week of a national championship game to get him out of his building. No one will touch him. And he's just dying for a job. He's dying for a shot. And Ole Miss is the one major program in the SEC that's willing to give him a shot when no one would touch him. Not only that, he comes there. He starts to win. He tries to get out once or twice, and teams still won't touch him. And then he kind of toys with Auburn, but he reverses course at the 11th hour. But finally, you get to the point 6 years later where we've got a shot. Both of us, like, we've paid you, you've returned it to us in kind, but we got a shot to do something historic, and we gave you your opportunity. LSU would never touch you. They laughed at us for hiring you. So did Florida. And now they waited, and you rehabilitated your image on our dime. And you're telling us that when we finally got here, we're getting the payoff, finally, for giving you your shot. We gave you all this money. We said yes to everything. We let your dog have his own Twitter account. Like, we did everything you wanted us to. You're just bye?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do an interview with Marty Smith on a tarmac? Same place. You got fired at USC. You're going to do an interview on a tarmac, and you're out of here. And who could disagree with that? So all the points of view I've heard, I agree with. I haven't heard anyone say anything where I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's legit.
If you're a donor for Ole Miss and you are the AD for Ole Miss, and we could reverse 6 years ago, however how long it's been, and they would tell you, hey, Lane Kiffin, he's going to go 55-19 for you. He's going to have the most historic season in Ole Miss history, but then he's going to burn the shit out of you, and he's going to leave. Would the AD and those boosters, would they sign up for that?
I think if they knew this was how the program was going to be left, I think probably they would still go on the ride.
Right.
They've made a lot of money there. They have enhanced the image of Ole Miss football as well.
You look at Ole Miss, you don't look at them as like a stepping stone place anymore. Even though Lane Kiffin just showed them that they're the most stepping stone place of all time.
According to him,
if you go back in time and you looked at every one of them and said, you're going to have these next 6 years. This is how it's going to go for you. You're going to be in the playoff. You're going to have the best season ever in Ole Miss history. But after that, the head coach right before the playoff, he's going to fuck you guys. They'd probably all sit there for a second, take a deep breath like you are right now and go,
bring it.
Yeah.
Bring
know what? We'll take it, because where Ole Miss was 6 years ago was it was a shit show.
Yeah.
It was in the conversations with the Kentuckys and the Mississippi States and the Vanderbilts. Like they were in that tier, and now you're in an upper tier conference or upper tier program.
Yeah.
So any way you look at it, you kind of sit there and nod your head and go, yeah, I see that. Because when you're talking about being a player, and I'm thinking about if I'm a senior and I've given my entire life to this program and that's how it's left me, it almost makes you want to cry. Because you're like, holy shit, because you imagine how those seniors feel. And they're probably in the moment right now, they're like, hey, fuck them. We don't need them.
Yep.
We'll go win this thing. They're going to have the Cinderella story that everyone's looking for. And the reality is probably not. So they're like kind of masking that pain, only to get like 6 months from now to be like, he really did just leave us, didn't he? After he told us all these things.
Yeah. Do you think he handled it well?
I think...
Because not to mention everything
I didn't
said,
know.
even the documentary you had this year on, like
that was like 3 months ago.
Reshaping his image of being where your feet are, enjoying the moment. It's not about money.
And the
it's
yoga,
not about going
and
to
the prayer, and all that.
I'm where I need to be, and just rip it out. And then it's like, I had conversations with God, my family, and this is where, because even Marty asked him, what does LSU offer that Ole Miss doesn't
said,
have?
I don't know.
And he's just like,
I don't know.
I was praying on it and made a decision with my family.
Maybe it'll work out. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was great.
It's got to
So it's
prove
like,
it's got to prove it right.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the dog tweet. I didn't know about that. I think taking away like the trolling on Twitter, which it's hard to take that away, but just the position that Lane is put in, I can have empathy for the thought process of like, no way you handle this correctly. Because if you stay at Ole Miss, you're here at Ole Miss, but you just drug along LSU, Auburn for a little bit, and Florida up until last week, and now they're way behind the 8 ball of who their coach is going to be, who their recruiting class, transfer portal, the whole thing. So you've kind of fucked 3 programs then.
Okay, but let me hit you with this. Is John Sumrall not the exact same situation? John Sumrall, head coach at Tulane all year. Mm-hmm. They've been on a magical run this year. They are 1 win away from punching their ticket to the playoff. John Sumrall has been interviewed by several programs over the last month for their head coaching vacancy. John Sumrall just took the Florida job. John Sumrall handled it professionally the entire way. He didn't talk about anything other than Tulane football the entire way. He was communicative with his AD the entire way, which Lane was too, so I'm not knocking him for that. Mm-hmm. But John Sumrall is in a conference championship this Saturday and is also being introduced as the Florida head coach today, and no one's hating on John Sumrall. So is it really just, everyone hates Lane Kiffin because, he's the whale in the room? To a certain extent, yes, Lane's a much bigger name than John Sumrall, but it's also, I think people have respect for the way John handled the process a whole lot more than the way Lane handled the process. And so, I got a bunch of LSU buddies, they're just saying, boy, it's really hypocritical. Everyone's hating on our guy. What about Sumrall? I just think he handled the whole process a whole lot differently.
I think... So you mentioned it not being the whale in the room. Sumrall was not the whale in the room. Sumrall was a guy, if we don't get Lane, then we get Sumrall.
Right.
And so it's much easier for Sumrall to sit in the position he is. And I'm not taking a side. I'm just arguing the point. For Sumrall to sit there and be like, I'm about Tulane, because at this point, all he is about Tulane. People are kind of maybe calling him and being like, hey, if this doesn't happen, you're our guy. And with that information, if you're Sumrall, there's no other information to kind of have other than.
But he had the Auburn job. He 100% had the Auburn job.
Did he?
What happened?
Yes.
What happened with Auburn?
Dude, Auburn, let me tell you something. That's a whole nother show. Auburn almost fantastically screwed themselves. Auburn had John Sumrall done. As late as last week, they had John Sumrall done, and they messed around. I was so confident that Auburn had finally handled a coaching search the right way. And they had. And then they got to the finish line, and they just tripped themselves up, because they can't help it. And then John Sumrall says, no, I'm out. You're not going to dictate terms to me about who's going to be on my staff. And if they're going to be on my staff, I got to look them in the eye. I got to make sure they're right for me. So he said, peace, I'm out. And he could say that because he knew he was going to get the Florida job. But my point to you was, so Auburn pulled the nose up at the 11th hour. They got Alex Golesh. He's good. They almost crashed entirely. We could do a whole show on that today. But with John did know he had head coaching jobs. He knew at the very least, I'm going to Auburn, and that's going to be a major head coaching job in the SEC. Florida's interested in me. He could have taken Arkansas in a heartbeat, could have taken Virginia Tech. Like, all those were on the table for him. He ends up at Florida because they don't get Lane. That's true. He would only have been on LSU's radar had they not gotten Lane. That's true. He also could have had the Ole Miss job. So he had several SEC irons in the fire. And he knew he was going to leave Tulane, but yet he handled the entire season, I think, the only way you can, given the circumstances.
Yeah.
I think people respect it a little bit more.
No, I can get on board with that. That
Yeah,
makes way
and
more sense.
I empathize with Lane. Not like he probably didn't know what he wanted to do. For
I agree
the
with
longest
that.
Time. I
I'm
know
sure he didn't.
People
yeah.
had no clue what he was going to do. I empathize with him having a hard decision and laying in bed and getting the heartstrings tugged on and everything else. I empathize with that because when the cheers stop, the dust settles. It is only you. It's you and your family. You make whatever decision you think is best for you in this world. He thought it was. At the end of the day, he took an Ole Miss job. He took in his mind a better opportunity, better backing, better structure. He does his thing. I'm all for that. Because again, it is only you in this world making your own decisions. So if that's what he's most happy with, dude, go do your thing. It's just all the semantics that came around because John Sumrall, like, you just don't feel the TV series that came with John Sumrall throughout the entire process. Like, again, he is aligned with his AD, probably, I'm assuming, with the team every step of the way. And when you are going to make these hard decisions because you're in a tough spot because of this calendar with the coaching cycle, when you're going to make these hard decisions, that's going to inevitably hurt feelings no matter what. You try and have as least amount of bloodshed as possible. And
Yeah.
it felt like John Sumrall did that, and it felt like Lane Kiffin. It was just a bludgeoning across the board.
Yeah. He took the opportunity to pull the sword out.
yeah.
And had the trauma from the last 6 years getting fired by Nick Saban, and decided, I'm going to get mine right now on my way out.
Right. And then trying to point the finger at the AD on the way out, saying he won't let me talk to the team, he won't let me coach, thinking
Right.
that I'm going to get us to 11-1. They'll kind of have no choice because it's like you got Saban, you had Herb Street, the national voices that were saying they should still let him coach. So then when he's on his way out, he can do, well, he didn't let me do it. It's like,
Right.
bro, there's no world where that AD should let you coach the college football playoff. I can sit there inside that building. I don't care if it's petty, whatever. No, he's got to protect everything Ole Miss. And if you're leaving, bro, you got to go.
Got to go.
I thought, the Herb Street Saban stuff, that was kind of blowing up everywhere. They're all with CA. Just FYI.
They're all with CA?
Jimmy Sexton's up there working.
Sexton, man, he's the ultimate winner in all of this, isn't he?
Yeah.
Why not stay at Ole Miss? I'm sure at this point you had all the boosters saying, we'll give you all the money in the world.
Yeah, money wasn't going to be the issue. But
What's
one thing Lane was consistent about is money's not the issue for me. Like, I talked to him several times throughout this. He always reiterated that. He was dead serious about that. It's a big deal for Jimmy and CAA because look, there's a business side of this where when you're negotiating a deal, if you're Jimmy Sexton negotiating like a Keystone deal, which is going to impact the rest of the market, you've got like 50 other clients that are about to get a raise because of what you negotiate for Lane.
Right.
So Lane couldn't have cared less about the money aspect of it. He's already made more than he'll spend in 10 lifetimes. However, I think he desired to be desired for so long, and he wasn't. And he sat at Ole Miss for a while. First off, he sat at Bama and FAU, and finally he was desired enough to get it on the Ole Miss job. But remember, Lane's pretty old school in the way he looks at this stuff. So even if we're in the new age of college football, he still looks at the SEC the way an old school guy would look. And he's looking at the LSU job like Saban looked at it a generation ago. It's like everything's there. These are not his words, but I probably believe folks like him think I'm pretty responsible for the success that Ole Miss has just had. Like, I am the reason this is happening. Again, whether that's true or not, that's kind of the almost like the competitive narcissistic quality you have to yourself to think I'm the cause of this. You look at LSU and you think Ed won one there, Les won one there, Saban won one there. It almost seems like LSU's just built to win titles no matter who's there. I'll go there and enhance what's already just a rocket ship, and I won't have to do all that work. All I'll have to do is turn the spigot on and let the natural resources and the natural advantages flow, and maybe I can win 2 or 3 at LSU. Now, whether that happens or not, I'm just telling you, I think I pretty well articulated how someone like him feels about why he takes the LSU job.
Yeah.
He just wants to be great.
Yeah, he gets to focus on more on the things he loves and is great at. I tell you what, Twitter was fun though.
Ooh, buddy, it was
Twitter
on
was
fire.
fun. We got one right here. This from John Tweets Sports. I made a difficult decision to leave my wife, who's been very loyal to me, for a woman she despises. I was hoping to keep living in her house through Christmas and acting like nothing was wrong. My request was denied by my wife, despite the kids wanting me to stay through Christmas. breaking down
That's
Lane
that's-
Kiffin's.
That's a shame. And Lane Kiffin would look at that and say, "How dare that woman?
Yeah.
How dare his wife?"
Holy shit. That is a John Tweet Sports. That's fantastic. It's a fantastic
That's good
breakdown.
stuff.
That's what you want.
So, you said something on the John Sumrall Auburn. Auburn was wanting to put people around the program or around on his staff that he wasn't necessarily in the same room with to keep tabs on him.
Well, no, it's even worse than that. And this is a
They kind
tale-
of slid there.
Well,
and I was
this
like,
is
hang
a
on a
tale
second.
as
I
old
got to
as
kind of
time.
know why they fumbled the bag with John Sumrall.
They had John. John wanted the Auburn job. I don't want to gloss over that. Like in coaching searches these days, sometimes it's just, let's go get the guy we think's best for the job, and he's going to take our job because it's the next step. John Sumrall wanted the Auburn job because he wanted to be the Auburn Tigers head coach, and he just happens to be a really, really great candidate. So they had him locked up. There was also the DJ Durkin side, who was the interim head coach there. And I think John Cohen, the AD, had really become attached to the idea of DJ. He's a phenomenal defensive mind. They wanted to keep him there. If they don't hire him as the permanent head coach, they want to keep him there as the defensive coordinator. So you maybe gauge John Sumrall during your negotiation and say, what do you think about Durkin? And maybe Sumrall's receptive to it. Maybe he says, I like DJ a lot. Maybe I'll have a place for him on my staff. That's okay. What's not okay is then taking that at Auburn to mean, all right, let's go ahead and extend DJ and let's sign him to a new deal, and let's just call John Sumrall up and say, hey, all right, he's going to be on your staff. That can't happen. It can't happen for many reasons, but two of them I'll give you is that makes you the AD, the guy that Durkin's answering to, not John Sumrall, because John Sumrall's not the one who hired him or paid him. And secondly, you haven't even vetted him yet. You, the future head coach of Auburn, have not even sat down with this guy or these guys, because Durkin's not the only one they were trying to dictate with, and looked them in the eye and pitched your vision and seen that they buy into it. You didn't even do any of that. And so if anyone's going to put conditions on you with how hard it already is to win if you get your way on everything, you're not taking that job. Doubly especially when you've got other programs that are bidding for your services. So Auburn screwed themselves fantastically. Early midpoint of last week. We go into the Iron Bowl Saturday. I was down there, and it was grim, and a lot of folks around there thought we're about to have to elevate Durkin. And I think John Cohen probably knew he had screwed that up. But then Alex Golesh turns down Arkansas because Auburn is on the table. And I think that they were able to salvage a situation to the point where I could easily see us 3 years down the road saying Auburn fumbled their way backwards into a huge win here. Because I'm very, very irrationally excited about the prospects of Alex Golesh at that place. Sometimes, you know how you just get a feel like some places are just like puzzle piece fits? I would have felt that about John there too. These were both really good candidates. The market's going to be way higher on John than they are on Alex Golesh. You probably know more about Sumrall than Alex Golesh. I'm way high on John Sumrall. I'm way high on Alex Golesh's potential at Auburn. Those people probably had to Google his name yesterday. But in time, I think they'll really, really love him down there. Quarterback play has been abysmal at Auburn for like the past 15 years, aside from a couple of exceptions. And the one thing I can promise, if nothing else, is quarterback play won't be an issue at Auburn. Maybe there'll be other issues. Maybe you can't stop molasses in December defensively, but quarterback play will be really good under him.
I know we got Greg obviously in a couple minutes. So before we get you out of here, during your show last night, you're still singing the praises of Matt Campbell. Where is Penn State is still looking for a coach?
I think it's insane.
That Matt Campbell's not the guy.
I think it's insane.
Who's Penn State swinging on? Because there's these like
they're swinging at
reports that
air,
there's,
brother.
Like some
They are
home
swinging.
run that's about to happen.
You talking about Auburn fumbling? I'm obviously an outsider watching, but like to have your coach fired in mid-October and still be in the same position you are, and now all the coaches that people are like, hey, you should get these guys.
Golesh getting figured out in like 24 hours.
Dude, Ole Miss had won 4 hours yesterday.
Yes, Ole Miss lost their coach like you, and he's like, yeah, me, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And Penn State is sitting there.
They're smoking cigs in the parking
lot. Their
lot.
head coach, who they fired, already has a job, and you have no head coach.
And yet Matt Campbell is responsible for like 8 of the 10 plus 500 win seasons in conference play in Iowa. Iowa State has been over 500 in conference play 10 times in their history. Matt Campbell has been 8 of those 10 years. Not good enough for us, though. We're not reaching out to him. We got things figured out at Penn
So
State.
things are cold on Campbell.
From the Penn State perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Matt's turned down several. Like, dude, Matt could have had the Tennessee job, could have had the Detroit Lions job, could have had the Florida State job. There are a ton of big name schools that he's
Detroit
turned down.
Lions.
Yeah. I don't know if that's out there, but it is now.
Okay.
Now, Detroit, I'm told, ended up being okay with who they did hire.
Yeah, in the NFL world, I know you don't watch it. Lions are in a bit of a spot right now.
Lions are actually out of the playoffs right now.
As of right now.
As of right now, they're not
It's gonna be
good.
tough
They're
for them
technically
to get up
not
in
good
there,
right
but
now.
Dan
but they're
Campbell's
good.
worked out with Detroit.
It's been okay.
Yeah. So Penn State, who are they going after?
I got no clue. Could be you. You could get a call later today.
That'd be sick. I would turn it down.
I'm also I'm seeing, I don't know how real it is. I'm seeing Hypo's name getting back in the.
I saw that. I know nothing about that. I'm not BSing you. I know nothing about that.
What was he? Who is he connected to?
Allegedly Penn
Was it
State,
Penn State?
according to the message boards, etc.
Penn State.
Big
nobody can figure
message
it out
board
right now.
guy.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
message board
yeah,
guy. How
yeah,
can you
yeah.
not be?
I was talking with Josh, and I was like, Penn State doing a good job keeping this stuff quiet. He's like, well,
There's nothing to talk
they've
about.
kept this one quiet, but they've done a terrible job as far as their coaching search goes. Oh, yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. I mean, we knew Penn State was going downhill the minute Mitch got a DM.
Wow.
The minute
Wow.
Mitch got a DM, we knew, okay, Penn State's in a bad spot.
That's a
Yeah.
good tease for Wednesday.
Yeah. Great tease.
Yeah, we'll get to talk more when we do the locker room. That's going to drop Wednesday night whenever the playoff rankings come out. Josh Pate, as always, thank you, bro. Broke down a lot of good stuff right there. We will we'll see you with Greg Olson.
Round of applause for Josh Pate.
Round of applause, Josh Pate. 30% off Black Friday, BWTB.com.
35% off Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday, not Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday's
Cyber
done.
Monday.
That happened last week. Coach Day. First off, let's give a round of applause for Coach Day coming on the show.
I'm glad he came on. They
Maturity, leadership, the
Yeah.
whole thing, especially the way I've talked about you the last year, which I'm not going to shy away from. I will say this before we start. I have said a lot of nasty things, even after like the spring tour. I've used the third base comment. I've said not a leader of men, and you know my opinion shouldn't and does not matter to you. However, I will say like I was wrong, and you truly you beat our ass, and you did it with humility. You did it, the way Ohio State probably should have done it last year, and you have shown you've proven me wrong. And I want to formally apologize for that because it's one thing to make comments of rivalry and stuff like that and things that I did believe at a time. But for you to go, I think it's 16-0 since the game that happened in Columbus last year, it shows how much of a leader you are in that locker room. And it's very impressive. So that's the last nice thing I'll say. Even though I have a list of
I appreciate it, Taylor. I got a lot of respect for you. And so, no, it means a lot. But it's a tribute to these guys and the program and these kids. And there's a lot of great life lessons, over the last year of just life. This is life, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is the world we live in. This is the stage that we play on. And, you get what comes with, losing games. And the only way to get it right is to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And we certainly, have got it fixed the last 12 months, but like we got to move on because we got Indiana this week and certainly we got a lot ahead of us.
What is well, I want to get into recruiting, Patricia, all that, but you brought up the Indiana game, and we had Josh Pate on the show earlier, and we're talking about like these conference games really are losing. They're losing kind of hey, we're not really playing for a Big Ten championship. We're playing for a national championship. And if you have the 1 seed in Ohio State and the 2 seed in Indiana, what's stopping you guys from just saying, hey, we're going to sit our best receivers, we're going to sit our quarterback and just be like, hey, the commission's already said they don't really care about, conference championship games.
Right. We're both getting bye weeks.
Yeah. We're getting like, why not just move on and kind of wipe your hands with this thing? Obviously there's a level of competition and all that you want, but if the big goal is a national championship, who cares about a Big Ten championship?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I think they got to look at it for sure, but we're in it. And we want to be the 1 seed. And I think everything matters when it comes down the stretch. And so, if you're just playing the numbers and you're playing, the trends, you want to be in a situation where you're the 1 seed going into the playoffs. So that's it. I also think there's a lot to momentum. I feel like when you have momentum, you got to keep it. When you don't, you got to go get it. I feel like we have momentum. I want to keep momentum with the team. And these guys they're just competitive dudes that just love to win. And, winning a Big Ten championship does matter. It was one of the things that was on our list of goals. So it'll be a great environment. Like it'll be, it's Indianapolis. They'll have a great crowd. We'll have a great crowd. So, we want to win. We want to be undefeated. We want to be the 1 seed. So that's what's motivating us.
Yeah, and the way it stands right now, like we're seeing 1v2. We're seeing a potential preview of what the national championship is going to look like. So I'm sure there's going to be that level of juice to it. What do you see with this Indiana football team? Coach Kirk Cincinnati, he's done a hell of a job in his couple years there. They're on a roll. Fernando Mendoza, he's a very good football player. You have another great quarterback as well in Julian Sayin. What do you see with this Indiana football team?
Yeah, I think they're well coached. I think they don't make mistakes. In all 3 phases, they play hard. They have good fundamentals. Like I said, they don't beat themselves. And they have a plan on how they're going to attack, and they play fast. Like when you watch them on film, they are playing fast. They're playing downhill. They're anticipating as opposed to reacting. And certainly, having Mendoza there has really just taken them to the next level. And so this is going to be a hell of a game and a really good opponent.
Throughout the year, Ohio State's been categorized, based on scheduling and everything else that can be boring, like the offense isn't explosive until they have to be, yada, yada, yada. As a defensive guy myself, seeing what you guys have done defensively, which again, it's hard to, since the defense, they're not like, this attacking, putting points on the board everywhere, anything else. Somebody who appreciates defense. Losing Coach Knowles to Penn State last year, you had the number 1 defense in the country. To go out and get Coach Patricia, you've held every opponent to under 17 points this season. Your first in points per game allowed was 7.8 in yards allowed per game. What has it been like having Coach Matt Patricia in the building? What has he done with this defense? And you got cats everywhere across the board, but speak about the defense a little bit, because you guys crush teams defensively.
While you answer that question, I'd love to also hear about the process of getting Matt Patricia in your building as well.
Yeah. So, when everything went down after the season, it happened at a point where it was late in January. So a lot of the hiring cycle had already gone through. So, kind of caught all of us off guard. And so one of the things that, I've learned in this process is like, don't rush into a decision in terms of your hires, man. Like you have to get this right. And even though there's recruiting involved and a lot of things that come into play, we try to take our time on this and be really thorough. And the thing that, I was really trying to look for was somebody that would come in and work with the staff that we already had and be willing to really buy into our culture and what we're doing, because, it wasn't like someone was going to come in and bring in their staff. And we just won a national championship. We have a great defensive staff. I think the best in the country. And so, I talked to some different guys, but Matt really separated himself, one, because of his background of, winning Super Bowls and what he did in the NFL. And he's a former head coach in the NFL, and he's brilliant in so many different areas. But, I knew Matt, he's from the Northeast like me. And so, we were acquaintances before. And, but the more time I spent with him, I just realized like how personable he is. Like he's a family guy. And I felt like he would fit our team and our culture really, really well. And it's amazing to me, like even when all that was going on, like I got a lot of just pushback, publicly. And like, I just think so many people are now realizing what a special person he is. And, he's done a great job from the minute he got here in building trust, building relationships. He had a certain level of credibility with our guys. He looks at guys like Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, Caden Curry, and he says, this guy reminds me of Jamie Collins. This guy's like Ninkovich. This guy's like so-and-so. And so he kind of plugs them in based on the guys he's had in the past when he was with New England. And our guys just love it, man. They eat it up. These guys love football. They love to compete. And they've just been eating up the football. And that's what Matty is, man. He loves ball, but he's done a great job building relationships.
Yeah, you got a lot. There's a lot of criticism with Matt Patricia, and if it was going to work, him going down to college. But on the offensive side of the ball as well, Chip Kelly, he goes from college to the NFL. Obviously, both these coordinators have made a big mistake leaving Ohio State. Both of them are potentially out of a job at this point. But you take Brian Hartline, and he goes from the wide receiver coach to the OC. When we were in Columbus, we got to meet with Hartline. Energy, very infectious guy. I see him at the Texas-Ohio State game. I go to give him a handshake. He looks daggers through my eyes. Like, you can go fuck yourself. And there's a lot of question marks like, Is this guy going to be able? He's obviously an incredible recruiter. The way you see the wide receiver room always line up, like every great receiver in the NFL right now, unfortunately went to Ohio State. But from a play calling standpoint, what was that process like elevating him in house?
Yeah, no, he as you can you can tell, and he's a competitive dude who really maximized every ounce of what God gave him as a player. He had a great career here at Ohio State, and then played for a long time in the NFL. And the only way you do that is by really understanding the game, how to find edges, and that's him. And so he's done that with the wide receiver group, and now the next progression for him was being a coordinator. And I think a lot of guys just think like being a coordinator is calling plays. That's a big part of it, but so much of it is just the organization of the staff, the motivation, the organization of practice, the messaging, the focus, like everything that comes with that. And so it's been great to be around that and watch it with him. He's got a great staff around him. Tyler Bowen does a tremendous job. Keenan Bailey, Billy Fessler, Carlos Lachlan, and having Matt on the other side of the ball allows me the opportunity to be there too and to help along the way. So I think he's getting better and better at it every day. And certainly we'll have to be at our best here down the stretch.
You have a great quarterback in Julian Sayin. Why do you feel like he should be at the Heisman ceremony later this month?
Well, I think he has the highest completion percentage ever for a college football player or something. Someone told me. I mean,
it's
his accuracy is off the charts.
78.9% is pretty decent.
Yeah.
But hey, there's an argument that he's just throwing routes on air because the receiver have so much damn separation. It's beautiful. I mean, the hater in me. That's the hater in me coming out a little bit. He is obviously a very talented individual.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, we have great receivers, but that's not his fault. He doesn't miss those throws by much, and like you're right. Like, Carnell, did a great job on that route and the separation, even, Jeremiah's route, in that game, in that shot the other day, but those balls are like on the money. He's just really, really accurate. I think he's got a special gift in terms of his intelligence. Being around him every day, he's intelligent. He can handle high levels of information fast. And I thought, in the game, on the first interception, they did a great job with the skies there, and they got him on that one. But like there was no panic because I know exactly what he saw, and he went right back at it. I mean, he's got composure. And he has a toughness about him. And that was I think he really had only played in a game that was like 50 degrees or colder, had never really played like any kind of elements. Now we've been practicing in it, but for him to handle that with the snow going sideways and just the way he played, scramble for a first down and handle it, big third downs. I mean, he was excellent on third down. I just think that he's got some special gifts about him.
Was there a piece of you when we went down and we drove the ball and we kicked 3 and then the first throw we get an interception? Was there a piece of you, had to be, that was like, oh fuck, it's happening again?
Of course there was.
Dude, I was thinking this, I was like, oh my God, we're going to do it again. And then once we kicked 3, I was like, God damn it, we're never going to score a touchdown in this defense. But what was going through your head when that pick happened?
Well, the thing that never happened though is like I just never panicked, and neither did anybody on the sideline, because like there was just a certain level of confidence we had going into this game, and it was like I can't believe this is happening right now, and it's just all right because we wanted to have a fast start in the game.
Yeah,
that was kind of something that we talked about going in. We always want to do that. Obviously, everyone wants to have a fast start, but it was something that we felt like it was important. So when it didn't go that way, it was like, what the hell's going on right now? But when you went over and you saw what happened on the first run and the defense settled down, forced 3, and then the defense to go out there and not panic at all. I mean, they sprinted on the field. They were like, let's go, watch this. And they got to stop, and it's 6-0. And it's like, okay, we're all right. Let's put a drive together, go right down and score. And at that point, I think just the composure of the team, and it's just the way these guys are, the way they're wired. Nothing gets them, rattled. And so, but I think, that goes back to our training and the confidence that we had going into the game and what we play with. But to say that I wasn't like, you got to be shitting me. That
I
Coach,
know, man. When that pick happened, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Dude, I was sitting at home. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because the chaos of, I mean, you're more in it for the chaos as a fan
Yeah.
of Michigan and playing at Michigan. I'm like, if we can fucking pull this off again, this should be. We might never lose again.
Yeah,
we might never
dude,
lose again.
I was telling you before, I'm so bought into the rivalry now. Like, obviously, you get to see all the fodder, all the shit talking. Like, you got little kids doing they're reenacting the flag at school for plays. Like, this rivalry is so insane, and I was so bought in because it's like I'm sitting there, I'm in the foxhole with you, I'm pulling for my boy. I'm like, okay, if Michigan wins, we'll get to see another year of all these antics, like all this stuff that everybody gets entertained by. But I'm also sitting back like, I know Ohio State is salivating to just beat this team's ass. And Coach, obviously you're in the business where it's all compartmentalization, goldfish memory. We got the next one. We got Indiana coming up this week. But just the initial emotion when you knew you had that game in the bag. And not only that, but having a 20-play drive where you're kind of pushing it up their ass a little bit. And just in a fashion.
You don't have to say it like that.
I'm
but
just,
you're
but
right.
that
You're
is
right.
what
They
was
did that.
happening.
Yeah.
There had to, it's almost like kind of not F everybody else, but like I knew this is what we're capable of doing to this team. And I'm glad we all finally showed up today and did it.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was, why didn't we do this last year?
Yeah.
That's how crazy my mind works. And that's what I was thinking was like,
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell did this happen last year? You know what I mean? That's just because just the way that, we took the field and played in that game. It's really how we've done it the last 12 months, but you know what, that's life, and life comes at you sideways at times, and it's all about how you respond. And I feel like, there's times in that game where, just it didn't go our way. And so every year you try to identify what those things are to get them fixed. And so, I often, like I said in the press conference, thought about how, I wanted to respond after the game, but I just felt like it was the right thing to do, is just handle it with humility and celebrate, with our team in the locker room. And man, it was a memorable day in that locker room with that team. Yeah.
I mean, it truly had to be after all like the noise that took place this time last year. Everyone like Big Ev from Barstool and Ohio State, like people are like, Ryan Day's not the guy for this team. Like he can't beat Michigan. I think Cooper was also 1-4 against Michigan. He lost his job. You go win a national championship. Like there had to be borderline tears getting this essentially off your back after going through all of that shit for the last year.
It's just bizarre
to
me that
I think also like, in today's day and age, there's a lot of things that get said and what you give energy to, you control. And so at the end of the day, like, you can listen and, listen to narratives and, people want to run with narratives. And when you're at Ohio State, it certainly gets a lot of clicks and a lot of attention. And I get what people are trying to do, but like when deep down in your heart, what's real and what isn't, you got to fight like hell to make sure that, you get out there and prove the people that care about you right. And the ones who don't wrong. I mean, that's every day. Right. And so that'll be the same thing this week. Mm-hmm. Every game and every week's an opportunity to prove people right, prove people wrong.
Yeah, as I was sitting there, it's like I have my popcorn ready the whole time because it's like I'm just wanting a spectacle. And when the way you handled it after the game, it was like, I didn't even know. I'm sitting here thinking in my head, like, what
it's not even an option.
Yeah, this wasn't even an option in my head. And when that happened, I was like, oh, dude, much respect. Like that was, you got our boy, we got a producer in the back, Mitch Carsley, who's been an Ohio State fan forever. And he's kind of gotten, he's been a little fair weather at times, like not the most on the table for Ohio State. You got Taylor, Michigan man here. Kind of, there's been some bullying going on to where he felt a little more insecure about being an Ohio State fan because he didn't grow up in Ohio. But the way you handled it after the game, it's got Mitch Carsley out here tweeting like, I'm so proud to be an Ohio State Buckeye. I feel like that's the inspiration you've kind of spoken to the Ohio State fan base on the way you handled that after the game.
Yeah, Coach, this past game, like Will said, I've been bullied by Will and Taylor and thinking I'm a fair weather Ohio State fan, but I mean, grew up going to 2 youth camps and like getting to meet you guys in person last year, and at the end of the game you say we're winning this with humility. I'm like, that's my head coach, so I just wanted to say thank you and OH.
All right, Mitch. that's pretty nice.
You're not going to bully Taylor now?
No, I will definitely. This one will definitely be held over his head as the last 4 have been held
But
over
you'll
mine.
do it with
no
class.
doubt. And yeah, you'll
Oh,
do
yeah,
it
I'll
with
You'll
class.
do it with class.
Do it with class
Yeah.
and like, hey, just know that when we win, we do it with humility. We don't have to
Yeah.
go flag planting or anything. Like, just know that ass beat
Show
was
you,
from
show
your
them how to
shoulder.
be a fan.
All right, okay.
Show them how to be a fan of a winning team. This is what it
Exactly.
looks like.
Let's all just relax. After the game was over, I texted Big Ev, Ohio Tate, and Eddie George, and I just said, congratulations. I did not text Mitch on purpose. I was like, fuck this guy, dude. And I saw his tweet. But yeah, hey, listen, you got it for me, 365. Just wait till next year, though. Am I right, Coach Day?
That's right. I know we got 1 year, and then we'll be back at it again.
Are
But-
we thinking maybe go to the NFL now? Like, let's get you out of there.
Let's just beat Indiana. How's that sound?
Yeah,
But
okay.
I will say this, that just finishing up is just though that being the head coach at Ohio State is a big responsibility, and obviously that rivalry game means a lot to a lot of people. So even just to hear the pride of everybody at Ohio State, that's ultimately what this is all about. It's pouring back into people, the players, the coaches, the fans, the supporters. Like that's what comes with this job, and it's a big obligation. And when you come up short, you got to figure out a way to get it fixed fast. And so that's what motivates me and our staff here. So, it was a good day, but we got a lot of football ahead of us.
Coach, we appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Guys.
Go win the Big Ten. It's going to be a fun game to watch. You guys in Indiana, both awesome football teams. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. Good luck in the playoff, bro, and maybe we'll see you next year. Maybe we'll see you next year.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks.
you, Coach Day. Thank you for
All right,
coming
we'll
on.
talk to you guys soon.
Let's get a round
you
of applause
got it.
for Coach
Anytime.
Day.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
That's a nice surprise, yeah?
When did you guys know?
I didn't know. Like, Ryan came on before and was like, would you like to have Coach Day on for 20 minutes before the Cade and Diego come on? And he said, just give me a thumbs up or down. I just put thumbs up. I had no clue until we were sitting doing our show already.
I'll tell you what, dude. You see all the stuff like the Lou Holtz after the Notre Dame game, the Congress thing, not letting Dave in Columbus and stuff like that. But this year, like, I know him and Pat McAfee had beef, and so he goes on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
And for all the things that I said about Coach Day,
Yeah.
and then him to come on 2 days after, and his ass is just quiet in the back of his head, like, this motherfucker. Like, you got to look at me in the eyes.
He's got
now.
He's got his receipts.
He's got his receipts, and I'll tell you what. Do I like Ryan Day? I guess, maybe. More than anything, I respect Ryan Day. I respect Brian Hartline, Matt Patricia. Like, say what you want about that game. Like, I didn't even bring up the touchback. Was it a touchback? Was it not a touchback? Because even if it was a touchback, that would not have changed the game. So, yeah, they beat our ass, man. They beat our ass, and
I thought I was gonna have
I
to
had
get
no choice but to respect Coach Day for that.
I thought I was gonna have to get knee pads for you there for a second. The way you was,
Yeah, that's a
glazing
fun
for
way to
him.
take it, but really it is like, it's just like, dude, hey, myself, Dave, a bunch of people have said so many nasty things about him, and for him to just quietly go 16-0 and keep taking on the chin for 365 days, and then come on our show. It's like, yeah, dude, I have to essentially pay the piper and be like, hey, I said all these things. You've proven me wrong, and I respect that. And oh yeah, dude. I mean, what else can I say? Hey, fuck you. It's like, okay, that my team just lost 27-9, and it was not even close compared to 27-9. Or maybe they'd be like, no, fuck you, Ryan Day. You're still born in third base. Like, yeah, he was born in third base, but he still elevated his team, and that sucks to say.
There was that article too that I was telling you about that came out last week or a couple weeks ago, where it talks about the standard that Jim Tressel set. Urban Meyer comes in, kind of holds that same standard, raises the bar, and then it's like Ryan Day who comes in, who hadn't had a head coaching job, and this is a guy that's not going to be able to keep the same expectation.
Right.
And the article basically said everybody was right. He didn't keep that expectation. He elevated it because he's like the most winningest Ohio State head football coach.
Yeah.
In his tenure so far at Ohio State.
And I mean, you see the recruiting class, they're 1 and 2 every year. They crush the portal. Like, that's not stopping anytime soon. That's why in this video that I made after the Ohio State Michigan game, it's like, hey, if you're Michigan, unfortunately, the standard is your rival. And that's a shitty position for you to be in. So you have to, if we have the resources, now is the time to funnel in all of those resources into having a team with similar talented players. And scheme and clock management, all those things. Like you have to make a decision now to do that, or you're gonna get left in the dust.
I feel like you guys weren't. It's not like you guys are an untalented team. Like you're just
No,
you're just very young because I mean last year
They went 9-3.
Yeah, we're 9-3, but like
You see what happened to the
we're
boys in Nebraska over the weekend?
We're the youngest team in the Big Ten. Like we're the youngest team in the Big Ten. That all those things are going for us, but to see the offense kind of sputter, like you want to see growth throughout the year, and there's a lot of times like Michigan should not be kicking a field goal to win as the clock striking 0 against Northwestern. We shouldn't be in these types of dogfights. Like, yeah, we had a very talented team this year. Like with six freshmen offensive line, or 6 freshmen starting on the offense, a lot of young talent in the back end of our defense. But like, you could see the different levels of what's taking place between Ohio State and Michigan. And it sucks to say, like, I am a Michigan guy. Like, I'm a guy that supports and loves Michigan, but like, you have to be able to look at these things objectively and be like, this is the reality. Like, Pate said it best on his show. Like, every team that's in the top 10 have given you question marks throughout the season. All Ohio State has done is given you answers. And that's the reality. Like, that is the team to beat in the national championship.
Yeah. And I love your guys' rivalry so much because it's just so bizarre that you can win a natty, but there's almost a real feeling of like, it doesn't count because you didn't beat Michigan.
Right.
And Taylor's thinking we got to reload. Like the standard is Ohio State. Like beating, it's just winning that game.
Yeah, you could legit go. You could go 1-11.
As long as that one wins against Ohio State or Michigan, you do not care.
You can go 1-11 at Michigan or Ohio State, and if you beat Michigan or you beat Ohio State, like, it's all good.
You said you beat Ohio State one time?
Yeah, I was 1-3 against Ohio State. It was when Tressel got fired because of the allegations, or he like stepped away, and was it Luke Fickell? He took over.
I'm wondering, like, as like a, because you guys don't do gold pants, right?
No, we don't do nothing.
But like, obviously, it's the biggest rivalry in football. Like, what is like that feeling afterwards? Like, did you were like, holy shit, we beat Ohio State? And,
dude,
like,
we stormed the field. I remember I'm like looking around, like, this is incredible. And like Chris Brown, my boy who played on the hockey team, he like grabs my shoulder pads. We're like hugging. It's the best feeling in the world. It is the best feeling in the world to beat that team, because literally since you step on campus, every single day something is mentioned about Ohio State. It's on a clock when you walk in. It's in the locker room. Like, I love that there's no trophy. I love that it's just like hatred. Like, we hate each other. I'm not even sure how, but like, we just hate each other. And you drink the Kool-Aid the minute you walk in. It's the only thing that matters every single year. Like, Michigan State is an afterthought. Like, I went 1-3 against Michigan State. Even going 1-3 against, like, you guys are an afterthought compared to Ohio State. And it's just nuts, bro. It's fucking nuts. But yeah, they are with their exclamation point percentage out, 15 minutes out. Got it. What the fuck happened?
I don't know, brother.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Nebraska was. I had a parlay going for Friday. Nebraska was the only leg to not hit.
God.
And it's getting to the point where it's like, yes, like, I love you, Will, but like, Nebraska is getting to the point where they're on the no bet list, because the amount of parlays I've lost from just them, it's like.
Look, I understand it. And if I'm you, I'm pissed off too. If I'm you, I'm putting them on the no bet list too. We have to earn your trust back. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Until
the bowl game.
No. Bowl games don't fucking matter, bro.
Oh, the bowl game is everything.
Bowl games don't matter for nothing.
We might be getting I've heard rumors of potential Music City Bowl.
Yeah, I think there was an article that came out. That's you guys.
I haven't seen articles. Like, I've just had a couple buddies text. Like,
isn't it like projected right now? It's Tennessee and Nebraska.
I had a buddy text from Missouri being like, hey, it's looking like it could be Mizzou and Nebraska in the Music City Bowl. I have no clue. I haven't looked at the list. Dude, it's been brutal. It was brutal to watch. I don't know, man. I don't have a whole lot of answers for you. It wasn't good enough. We're sitting here 7-5 at the end of the year. Failure of a season. I don't know. There's usually hope and optimism that I have to latch on to. And there hasn't been any over the last couple weeks. Like, we got killed from Penn State, but if you come out, you beat Iowa.
Don't matter.
Not that it doesn't matter, but you finish off 8-4. You have some hope and optimism on this team turning it around. Because I want to say our record's been very poor in the month of November. Probably different variables going on. And defensively, man, it sucks to watch the way we are performing defensively.
Yeah.
I want to say over the last 2 games, like Penn State and Iowa traveled in our red zone like 10 times, and they scored 9 of 10. Been poor in run defense. I want to say we're in the triple digits as far as rankings go.
Do you think if you guys won like 2 more games, Emmett Johnson would like be invited to New York and have a legit chance of winning?
I don't think New York, legit chance of winning. I'm sure he's up for like the running back award and everything else, as he should be. I think he's an absolute stud. Like running the football, catching the football, he does everything for Nebraska's offense.
Hey, real quick, don't get off this conversation. I want to keep talking about Nebraska. I just got to pee so bad. So.
Okay.
I mean, he had what? 170 at halftime, 160.
Yeah, something crazy. Like he plays, dude. We're gonna miss him. I think he's gonna probably go to the league. Hopefully, I mean, if he stays, that's great. It'll always be interesting for guys who are mid round or lower round and NIL. Like, do you stay for another year, get X amount more dollars playing? But as a running back, you only have so much tread on the tire. You do like the ultimate goal is NFL. And you're in the NFL, second contract as far as financials and everything else goes. We'll see what he does. You got the portal stuff with Raiola happening.
Yeah, I was gonna ask did we talk about that last week or is that news this week?
Dude, the last week was such a blur.
I think it was news this week, but
yeah, it started to become news a little bit last week, and now it's gonna be. It's gonna be news. I don't know what articles have been written out there.
What are you hearing from the inside?
I'll wait till Taylor comes back on because I'm sure he'll want to ask questions about that. But yeah, dude, I mean, we got pummeled, and it sucked.
I think was that Iowa's highest scoring game all season by like a lot.
Yeah, and the Iowa Hawkeyes, man, like they own us. 10 of the last 11, and you can't, there ain't gonna be like I'll be talking my shit next year when it comes, but it's one where you just gotta tip your cap to them. Like they beat our ass. They are big bro. There's no defense of the border. George Kittle, he was hitting me up right away. Bruce Kittle, his dad's hitting me up. I got the whole family. The Kittles hit me up.
What about Robert Gallery?
Robert Gallery, he's texting me. I forget what he said. I'm like, buddy, you need to take me on one of your what's the trip called?
Ivermectin?
No, Ibogaine.
Ibogaine.
Gallery's hit me up. I'm like, buddy, you got to take me on one of your Ibogaine trips. Like the trauma and PTSD I'm going to have from these Iowa Hawkeyes. Like next one that you host, I need to be on.
Yeah.
I need to be puking my guts out, puking my pain and losses out from just the way we've been just getting pummeled these last 2
weeks.
Dude,
the shitty thing too is like, this was year 3 of Matt Rule.
Yeah. We were trending that way. Starting QB. Broke his leg.
Yeah,
I'm not here to make excuses.
We were talking, Taylor, when you were off, the noise and everything of Raiola transferring, if Will was hearing anything on the inside, but he wanted to wait till you got back on.
Yeah, well, are you willing to say on? I know you've had conversations. I just don't know.
Oh, you there you know by the fights for this program harder than Willie C.
I know.
I'm on the end. I'm in there.
Right. I'm saying we have microphones over us. I know that if microphones were off, you would tell me everything. Do you want to talk about that on this?
I think he's going to be looking at options. From the standpoint of Detective Willie and all the stuff that was going on last week, it's in my mind when that Raiola stuff came out on Nebraska is bracing themselves to lose Raiola in the portal. And then I'm hearing, it's coming from the inside of Nebraska. And I'm thinking, dude, bullshit. What is the upside for Nebraska to want to leak or have any article written about their starting quarterback,
yeah,
that he's going to be available to the college football world 2 days before we play the Iowa Hawkeyes? Like, in no world would Nebraska have that article get out there, especially for it to be phrased and framed that Nebraska is bracing. Like, basically, I'm hearing from sources, that article had zero credibility and substance because there was no quotes from anybody on the inside. It was just pure speculation, or I've talked to a couple guys like, no, who? Who have you talked to? And this is the same gentleman. I forget his name, but it might be Chris, something with a C. Chris Hummer.
With a C.
I think Chris Hummer. It's the same gentleman that was on top of the Is the same gentleman that was on top of the leak of Raiola potentially shopping in the portal last year, being connected to the Miami Hurricanes. Chris Hummer had that story, and that came out of left field, that Dylan was shopping or that Dylan was kind of testing the portal a little bit. But Chris Hummer was on top of that one, and nobody else knew about that rumor other than Chris Hummer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, yeah, but they need to be focused on it. No, bro. That leak got out last year because you're leveraging for more NIL money from Nebraska, which Dylan did get. And I'm all about the players getting paid. I'm all about these games. It's just, don't make it seem like it's coming from inside Nebraska when it's clearly not.
Yeah.
Same guy was on the rumor last year with Raiola in Miami in the portal that, you're leveraging it up. Yeah, Adam Wells wrote Bleacher Report article, but he's
Adam
covering.
Wells, not a C to be seen.
Yeah, but then also when this one come out, it's like this ain't coming from Nebraska football. I promise you that. So, and I respect the games being played, but let's not all sit here and act like it's coming from inside the Nebraska building. It's not.
Let's not make shit up.
Yeah, let's not make shit up. And words and optics matter in that game. I'm sitting here like we've been in the league, we've been in contract negotiations,
right.
Framework, reports coming out from certain guys, like all of that stuff matters. If it's coming out from Nebraska side, it's probably going to come out from Pete Nakos, I believe.
Yeah.
Or whenever he was on top of all the rules.
So do you think this is Dylan doing this? Do you think it's somebody in Dylan's family?
I don't think it's Dylan doing this. Dylan's probably focused on getting healthy because he broke his leg. Like he's probably doing his thing, trying to get his leg healthy. He's probably in a tough spot. Like we've all had major surgeries, especially when our first one happens. Like there's some very lonely, like I'm not at all coming from Dylan, but yeah, it's definitely coming, in my opinion, from Raiola camp.
The Raiola camp.
I don't know who, like there's no names. I'm saying Raiola camp.
Right.
If you are shopping, you are actively shopping, which I've heard is happening. If you're actively shopping, that doesn't come like all that, and you want the college football world to know that Dylan is available, then you want an article out there. Like I'm saying, if I was in this place and say it was my kid who was the quarterback, or if it was me and I had all this high level thinking about it all and the strategy of it all, if you wanted to get out there, you don't want to come from, hey, I am actively shopping while I'm still on Nebraska's football team. They're about to play the Iowa Hawkeyes. My brother just decommitted last week.
Right.
Like, I'm not wanting it to be, hey, I'm doing all of this. You want to seem like come out a different way. And the way you'd want it to come out is the way it was written. That Nebraska's bracing for Dylan to leave. Like it's a Nebraska, there's a Nebraska reaction from this.
Yeah, because last year, I don't think I heard anything about Raiola shopping himself until after the fact. It's interesting. That's happening before.
Like I had heard when that came out and when it was happening, but in my brain, it's like I understand the game being played by players, by the institution and contract. And hey, if we do have a really good quarterback, he could be looking at a lot of dollars out there. If we want to keep him, we need to pony up and pay for him so that way we can keep him. Because this is a kid like Dylan Raiola makes Nebraska better. Dylan Raiola makes Nebraska a better football team. So yes, I want Dylan Raiola on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Big Dylan Raiola fan. I'm more like just speaking on just the antics. I'm more in the lore of Nebraska football than probably a lot of people that are listening right now. But with the articles and everything else coming out, and then fingers feeling like it's being pointed at Nebraska for having this stuff out. This is where I got to just defend my squad. This is where I got to defend the turf a little bit.
It's 100%
because I want him to
Nebraska.
stay. Yeah, because when Matt Rule was staying, what was happening?
Right.
The boys are out there posting he ain't going nowhere. He's locked to stay.
Yeah.
You want to shut this down, then you just publicly stand up, hey, I'm not going anywhere. But that's not the reality that we're in right now.
Right. Which is totally fair for Dylan to do in the situation. My thought is like, if you're Nebraska, what do you do? Because you just signed Rule to an extension. He got the funding and the backing that he needs to go get these players.
Yeah.
At what point do you pull a Tennessee and go, hey, we're not paying you anymore? Like, you've got enough money. We're trying to win a championship. We need this money to go get other players as well to make you look better.
Right. This is where that goes out of my depths. I don't know if he's wanting more money or if he's just wanting another place to look.
Yeah.
For me, I'll just be like, buddy, don't like this. Finish what we're building something. He's a pivotal part of it.
I'll
Finish
say
what
this.
you start. Don't run from the fight. Heal up. We need you. Recruit these guys. Build this program.
Right.
You're the guy. You're the kid that's going to have a statue.
Because if you're a running back, a receiver, a tight end, somebody plays on the opposite side of the ball that gets the ball, you want to go to a place that you're going to be showcased. And if you don't have a quarterback, or you don't know if the quarterback that you would be throwing to you would be there, it's very difficult to get these guys to be like, hey, we'll pay you $2 million to come. It's like, $2 million is great, but I'm trying to make it to the league, and I need somebody to facilitate me the football. And that's the issue that Nebraska's running into. I hate this feeling for Nebraska right now.
I do too.
I know. And as a friend, as long as I've known you, it's never felt this dark. And I'm not saying that to stir you up. I'm just saying this is a very like uncomfortable feeling. Sitting here being like, is Nebraska getting better? Is there? I'm sure something's going to happen in the offseason with transfer portal and recruiting class and all that. We'll be like, look at this. This is what we have to hang our hat on. Right now, it doesn't feel like there's something there to be like Nebraska, the next step next year.
Right, as far as like progressing from where the bar is at right now, like I 100% believe Rule is the guy. I just think
I don't disagree with that at all.
We're going into an offseason where there's a lot of games that's getting played versus finding these ways to push the boat forward. It feels like there's going to be a lot of recruiting that has to happen potentially in-house. I have no clue.
Right.
But you're right. And to the point, because again, when we were talking before the year started, and you said 7-5, and I'm like 7-5 would feel like a failure of a season.
I'm sick to my stomach that we're sitting here and the answer is 7-5.
But you were saying this is like, hey, just one step at a, it's one game at a time, one step at a time. I'm saying,
I've already said that. I've already shook your hand and said that's not good enough.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I wish you never made me shook my hand because I'd be able to sit there and be like, hey, you're technically a game better, like 8-4 next year, 9-3,
right?
10-2.
But I think you're in enough to where you can stand on the record. But my reaction to you having that record was like, no, bro, it won't be optimism.
No, you're right.
Or it's gonna feel like we're failing.
Yeah.
And so that's where you end the year 7-5. You end off these two ass whoopings we took from Penn State and Iowa, and it's like, gosh, dang it, man.
I'm with you because you're right. Like 7-5 is not okay.
Yeah.
Like you guys have gotten the monkey off your back from a bowl game standpoint. That was fun. We had a good time with that. Like bowl games don't matter. They don't. So players sit out. They go to the NFL. They start to transfer. Like bowl games do not matter. And I said that before Michigan beat Alabama last year because bowl games don't fucking matter. So your record 7-5.
Well, if we win a bowl game, we will be 8-5.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
That's where I disagree with you, and I understand why you would do that for the mental aspect.
Well, there's teams like you're going to play a team to where, it's not like
Michigan was 7-5 last year, and then they played a bowl game that they won. They were 7-5.
Bama, were you not
Michigan,
fired up that they beat
Alabama?
Alabama?
I was stoked
bro?
They beat Alabama. I'm like, oh shit, this is awesome. But the reality is half their team sat out, and a lot of our guys sat out too. And it's like, all right, like that's. If it happened in the regular season, I'm way more fired up than if it happened at a bowl game. Yeah. Like the Citrus Bowl isn't fucking getting me from 6 to midnight.
I feel what you're saying because say Emmett is going to the NFL.
Right.
And he sits out of the bowl game. Then I'm thinking to myself, all right, we lose this game. Like we didn't have Emmett Johnson.
It's an insurance policy, just like Alabama had an insurance policy last year. Like a lot of their players didn't play. A lot of our players didn't play, but at the same time, it's like you're just having two cool logos play each other. Alabama and Michigan. Oh, this is dope. You barely ever get to see this. Ain't nobody gives a fuck really about that. No one. No one actually cares.
You could if everybody in the locker room does.
No, if everybody played.
Like, again, if we need everybody for the bowl game and everybody has that outlook and you rally for the bowl game, absolutely.
To me, my
you're still trying to put out more film.
My brain's on, well, look what just happened to Michigan versus Ohio State. How do we beat that? How do we beat when they already have a top 3 recruiting class coming in? We need to go fuck a bowl game. You know the bowl game.
That's a disservice to the boys. That's a disservice to the seniors, the guys who are still trying to play some ball.
The bowl game is important for the 15 practices. That's the most important part of the bowl game. That's the most important part of the bowl game is to have 15 practices so you guys excel, work. I'm gonna watch whatever game Michigan's in, and I'm gonna be rooting for them. I'm gonna be hoping they win.
I don't know if you are, man.
No, but at the end of the day, like whether they win or lose, I want to see progress. So if Bryce plays in the game, or Jordan Marshall plays, or these receivers, I want to see Andrew Marsh take a step. I want to see McCulley take a step, even though he's a senior. Like I want to see these things happen. So I go, I'm really excited for next year. Because the bowl game doesn't matter record-wise. It doesn't do anything for you. The transfer portal, the recruiting class, the development of players, the spring practice, the camp, the season. That's what matters.
Mhm.
Truly. Because no one's going to look at the Big Bad Mower Bowl. No one's going to be like, yeah, but we got that, didn't we, boys? Like, if 7-5 is not good enough for Nebraska, then having a bad Mower Bowl victory doesn't mean shit.
It's the bad boys.
You know what I'm saying?
Not the big bad. It's the bad boys.
9-3 for Michigan.
Yeah, if Pavia and Kate are here, get them in.
This is separate because it's for the episode.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Day's not for.
No, he's for today.
Oh, I thought he was going on Bussin, because then you just seamlessly talk through.
He's going on college football, and then they're gonna give footage to Jared for CFB for him to edit, and then they want you guys over there with Cade and Pavia so we can get a little bit of vlog. Like,
I got you.
What up?
Yeah, all that being said, man, all eyes on 26. Like, all eyes on January 2nd, the transfer portal opens, and I need a lot of block M's next to a lot of fucking talent.
You need everybody.
I need everybody. Transfer portal. I need fucking everybody. Cam Coleman, fucking Ryan Williams, that kid from Clemson, bring him. I need them. Everybody.
Yeah. It's like I know the feeling that I have right now.
It's a sad feeling.
Because you can't see the light. But where my optimism lies is in the month of December when the headlines start coming out, whether it's transfer portal, recruits, whatever it is, it's going to be like, I knew that was something that was going to come down the pipe.
The problem that Nebraska has right now is you guys have to beautifully orchestrate this chessboard between now and spring. Like, you have to handle the Dillon situation while also getting receivers, grabbing a couple of defensive guys. Like, you can't just make sure your boat's good. You've got to optimize your boat.
I agree. I think Coach Rule, I think he is the guy for the job. And
I agree.
With that job, I think he's going to have hard decisions to look at and make, whether it's with staff, whether it's with players, that you have to do that self-scout, because he is. Like, that is. Everybody's putting it into Coach Rule leading us to this national title. Yeah. I know one movie he did make last offseason. That was Mike Eckler. Hey, Coach Eck, man. He's up for awards with special teams coach.
No, yeah, Eck's the man.
Yeah, he is the man, bro. I'm so fired up that he's had success, that he's been telling me that he's like, once I get, dude, Will, he's teaching me about special teams. He's doing all these things once he got the job. And I'm like, Eck, I hear you, bro. I'm thinking best special teams in the country. I'm like, yeah, that would be awesome. But Eckler could sell ice to an Eskimo. Right. Like, he could sell anything.
I would love to poach Eckler to Michigan. Would love to, because our special teams was all year.
Yeah, Ed crushed it, man. I was fired up. I was pumped to see the success that he's had this year in Nebraska, especially being a Nebraska boy. But
this is where like sadness starts to creep in for your team. If your team's not in the playoff, it's like, I'm really excited to watch these playoffs unfold, the chaos, all that stuff. But there's a piece of me that's like, I really wish it was August.
No, buddy, we are, dude. This is prime time.
I know,
ball.
but I want to watch my boys.
Yeah, but
I want to watch my guys.
Think about the chaos we have coming up.
Oh yeah, it's
that we get to live in, watch from the inside. It's like going into an F5 and we're just sitting there in the eye of the storm, seeing it happen. Especially if we get BYU this weekend. Especially Georgia wins, BYU wins, Duke wins. Like, people are going to be going crazy, and we get to have on Pavia and Cade, a couple boys where they're sitting there at 10-2, like they should. Yeah. You guys deserve to be in, absolutely.
They deserve to be in. It seems like they're not.
It seems like they're not going to be in.
Cade's texting me last night. He's like, "You think we'll talk about it with him on the show?" But he's like, "What do you think if this happens, that happens?"
And ultimately, we have no clue.
We have no idea. I have no fun. I thought Clark Lee was going to leave. I told him, I was like, "Hey, you got to get out. Clark Lee's going to go." He decided an extension.
I didn't know 5 conference champs got in.
Yeah,
the people are fact checking me. I'm looking at the rules. I'm like, God damn, I guess I was wrong on that one.
Dude, the G5
I just want the 12
is
best
so
teams.
Dumb. The G5 thing is so dumb. You need an extraordinary G5 team to get in. Yeah. And I know I cut a lot of heat on that. Fucking shut up.
We cut a lot of love too, bro. Don't worry about the loud minority.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, when I would see a couple of comments, it'd be like, these fucking guys. It's like, no, dude, you're North Texas. No disrespect. These are the big dogs. If you're 12-0 and you're winning by like a point differential of like 40, you guys should fucking be in that thing, because I don't want to see that squad against that squad. But I don't want to see a one-loss North Texas team who lost 63-39 versus some random ass school. I don't want to see JMU as 11-1. I don't. Tulane, you lost your coach.
And if so, it should just be one. Like, to me, it comes down to, you look at high school football. It's 1A all the way up to 6A.
Right.
Like, there is levels. And they've had a hell of a year to where if G5's having a tournament, like, I'd tune in and see who's going to win the G5 tournament.
Tune into
The
that.
NIT, I would love to see an NIT tournament,
Would
just
love.
other classes. But yeah, bro, there's too many of these bottom feeder type teams, not bottom feeder, top of their bottom feeder conferences that are going to get into this playoff and screw out some teams that very
Like
much,
Miami
they
should
are
be in
12 of the
Vanderbilt.
best teams in college
Like,
football.
you're going to say, I want to watch Tulane and Oregon versus Oregon and Vanderbilt? No fucking way. No way. Get bent. You want to watch North Texas and Oregon, or do you want to watch Miami and Oregon? And I'm always saying that because they're the 5 seeds, so they would play one of those teams.
I wish we could be fluid every year with the playoff to where you just make decisions based on what everybody's kind of feeling, to the point where I'm like, okay, you know what? We have 10 locks that are going to be in the college football playoff. There's going to be 2 spots left. Let's get an 8-team bracket, all these arguments, all these teams, Miami, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt,
I love
Texas,
what you're saying.
JMU, North Texas, Duke, Virginia. There's 8 right there, or BYU for one of them.
Yep.
And have them battle
I don't
out
think
for the
8.
2 slots.
I don't think 8. 8 teams, 4. Yes. Okay, I'm back with you.
For a play-in.
2 slots.
Yeah.
That go into their playing game of the championship. Winner of that championship then goes out and plays Ohio State after their bye week. Like, the easiest spot to be in for Ohio State, because teams got to play 3 more games before they get to them. And you want to earn your spot in this tournament.
Yes.
You got to go through this, 8-man bracket, get to the championship. That's the playing game to play Ohio State.
Right.
That's how I want this game
Here's
to go.
what I want. I want the 8 teams to play. You get to the final 2 teams. Hey, guys, you're both in. We go to a gas station in Odessa, Texas, and we flip a coin. And whoever gets the coin toss is the 11. The other one is the 12.
Yeah, maybe
I like
maybe
that.
with the 3 you argue for the SEC, right? It'd be Texas, it'd be Vanderbilt, and then Bama if Bama lost the SEC championship.
You can just do Vandy. What was the other?
Texas, BYU.
Vandy, Texas, and Miami.
Right. If you get outside, I'm saying if the SEC had one, they want to go full Texas football mode, like they know football the best. SEC.
It almost
If
be better
Bama
if you do
loses,
4 teams. You do 4 teams.
4 slots.
yeah,
4 slots, not 8 slots. 4 slots. You play 1 game,
yeah.
and whoever wins that game, you 2 are in. You guys are in.
4 slots. We need everybody.
Everybody.
But if Bama loses, and we're arguing Bama, Vandy, Texas, let's get them at a gas station. They'll just hit the flips. Ain't no curses.
Yeah.
Who's getting in the tournament?
Oklahoma drill.
Yeah.
Let's get you one of these.
Yeah. All right, we will see you tomorrow for our Bussin' With The Boys episode.
I don't want to stop.
Tomorrow on Bussin'. Well, we'll carry it on whenever Diego and,
Yeah,
and
true,
Kate get in
true,
here. We can
yeah.
ask them about bowl
Yeah, save it for
games.
the pod.
Yeah, because they were in a bowl game last
I'm
year,
with
weren't
you.
they? Yeah, they was in a regular bowl game. We can talk to them about it. But we'll have Cade
Who cares?
McConnell,
Doesn't count.
stud O-lineman for the Vanderbilt Commodores. And
Future
then we got
Wolverine.
Diego Pavia, Heisman candidate, one of 3 probably going to New York. We'll have him on the bus tomorrow. See you then.